I was invited along to speak at this, and I didn't imagine it would be such a large event and have such a wide audience of all age ranges and backgrounds and all the rest. So what I'm going to speak to you about, maybe some little bit of it, or lots of it might not appeal to you at all, but if you find some little thing that you can bring with you and use in your life, then it'll be a good thing, because basically we had maybe about leadership and about motivation and about various things like that. Ultimately it's about people skills, and I think there's none of us that couldn't do without them, or that could do without them, so we could work on all of those. So really, from a sporting sort of context, I'll be speaking to you about that kind of approach to life. And John Wooden is a basketball coach that I often read a lot from, and he endorses a famous quote from Gandhi which says, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow, and learn as though you will live forever." I think there's an awful lot in that if we took the time to think about it, and ultimately what it says is that leaders never stop learning. And Ben Franklin made this observation about a fellow he had known in Philadelphia. He said the man died at 25, but he wasn't buried till he was 75. So obviously he knew it all when he was 25 and didn't bother learning anything else. But anyway, I suppose we talk about, in sport and in general terms, people talk about team spirit. And really, that's what living in life is all about. It's about creating a spirit of togetherness, which is very evident here tonight. It's been evident on the way in. It's been evident on the history of what this organisation has achieved. And really, it's about making special connections. Very evident in the video clips we saw there earlier tonight too. So, I mean, that's what life is all about. It's about people making special connections. It's about appreciating the value that every person has to give in life and recognising those values in them, and that people are prepared to, as they said at the beginning of the night, it's about giving, not receiving, that really gives us that sense of fulfilment. So again, we're talking about team spirit, and I believe that's about making special connections. It's about identifying with a group that means something to us, and several groups we can belong to. And really, leaders look for individuals whose abilities, personalities and attitudes enhance and ignite one another. So really, our goal should be, in any group that we belong to, is to create a great team rather than just a team with some great players. So really, we have to think about putting the team first. No place for selfishness, egotism or envy. So it's reaching out to others. It's the spirit of giving that we're talking about, and which is around this time of year very evident for lots of people. So really, good leaders is about more than their own job. It's about working to the highest level for the good of the group, the good of the people that you work with. And again, in the midst of all that, we have to have the people. John Wooden, he called them the people who do the assists. He talked about, in basketball terms, he said it takes 10 hands to score a basket. So people will see who slam dunks or puts in the finished fancy shot, but you have to look beyond that and see who was along the way helping make that happen. So really, that's what life is about as well. We may end up with may end up with some good finished product, but it's the people who help along the way that ultimately make that finished product as good as it is. So maybe as leaders and as people who are working together to make something happen as a team, we should look out for the people who give the assists and recognise those assists, because when you recognise them, then those people will feel better for it and you'll be likely to get more of it. And really, again, it tells us as well that in life and anywhere we are, we don't really want a team of clones. It doesn't really matter how good somebody is perceived to be at something. If everybody was exactly the same, then life would be very boring. So it's our difference that makes a real difference in life, and we should look out for people's difference and appreciate exactly what they have to offer, what each of them has to offer as an individual. And I suppose based on all of that, we're talking about respect. Respect is the thing that will take us a long way in life. And what does respect mean? Ultimately, it means valuing every individual that you come into contact with. It's about having a sense of balance in your life. You know, it's about recognising that everybody's role is different and significant. It's about also, what he said there, putting the team first, whatever your team might be. It's about stepping outside your comfort zone. It's not about just doing the things that come comfortably to you, because if we continue to do that, then we're limiting our potential for growth. So it's really about stepping outside the zone, doing things not normally expected of you, and obviously things that help that happen, and God knows it's about now. It's about hard work. It's going to be hard work for us to gain some kind of recovery from the place that we've all found ourselves in. It's going to take a lot of cooperation. Cooperation has been very evident in this part of the world in the last number of years, and we're all the better for it. And it's to do with enthusiasm as well. And ultimately, maybe it's about what's right, not who's right. And much more can be accomplished if no one cares who gets the credit. Maybe that's worth thinking about sometimes too. Again, motivation. People talk about motivation in teamwork and in sports. People always hold that as a very important element. of making things happen. And sometimes we become dependent upon the motivational talk, if you like, or somebody, I suppose, getting the high octane chat out there that makes people want to do things right there and then. But really, motivation is about much more than that. And the key way to motivate people is to show them that they're valued. And we need to look for ways to show that we care. That's true for all of us, whether you have a role to play in a business world, or your work life, or your social life, or indeed at home in the relationships. Letting people know that you care about them is a great way to motivate them. So really, we should look out for how we can be helpful to others, how we can recognise the things that are going on in their lives, and when we show that we're interested in that, then it means that they mean more to you than just the job that they do with you or together with you. And it's about a people skill again. It's about presenting yourself as a person, because somebody once said, remember, you cannot fax a handshake. So the personal touch is about much more than that. Again, our task in life, I suppose, as leaders or people who want to move people on in the best possible direction, and ourselves, is to look out for good behaviour. Sometimes we're very much find ourselves as fault finders and looking for what people are doing wrong, when if we open the lens in a different direction, we might catch people doing a lot of things that are very good. And research shows that people prefer praise almost to any other type of reward, and praise is recession-proof. It doesn't matter what the economy is doing, praise is free. So you find out how people like to be rewarded rather than how you think they would like to be rewarded. And catching people doing things well is a good exercise to be involved in, because it is definitely true that you will probably get more of that if that's what you're looking for. So really what we're talking about here is about choosing our own motivation is something that we have to come back to as well, not always waiting to be motivated by other people. To be enthusiastic, because enthusiasm is infectious. We know it in sport. People who are really into what they do, you watch them go and you can't be lethargic or apathetic around them. So really this is all to do about being aware of the impact of your body language. Body language says a lot about you, and you carry yourself in a positive fashion, then you're going to find yourself around more positive people. And there's a wee cartoon character, Charlie Brown, describes this very well. He says, when you're depressed, it makes a lot of difference how you stand. The worst thing you can do is straighten up and hold your head high, because then you'll start to feel better. So it's just worth remembering that. Again, self-motivated people are the people that we like to be around, because they deliver consistent performances. They're kind of leadership material. They take responsibility. They are good at becoming a team player. And maybe most importantly of all, they're non-judgmental. They're not looking to see who they can fix and how they can fix them. They're actually too busy dealing with what they do themselves. So they carry out their tasks with joy and good to be around. Again, I suppose dealing with change is something we have to think about, and we've had to think about a lot in this last while. And we should really see change as an opportunity for growth. As I said before, it's about stepping outside your comfort zone. It's not about doing what we always used to do, because it isn't like that anymore. So we have to step out. I use the football analogy sometimes, that people in the past, in the time when I was playing, you played in the forwards or you played in the defence, and you got a nosebleed if you went to the other half of the field. That's not the way it is now. People go everywhere. Some people don't like that, but I do, and because I think it shows that people want to become total footballers, not just positional players. So it's the same in any walk of life. If you step outside the comfort zone, you'll probably explore and acquire skills not normally associated with your own role in the past. So really it's about observing every obstacle as a learning experience, and the greater the challenge, the greater the reward. That's the beauty of it all. And maybe in life we should always maintain a positive solution-searching attitude. And the good thing by that is that while a positive attitude will not get the desired result every time, a negative one surely will. So it's probably good to go the other direction.